Hey folks, it's me, Michael Bach, your diversity dude, and this is Monday Morning Musings. Happy Monday. I am back from 2 weeks vacation. I am rested. I am gorgeous. And the world's on fire. Oh my gosh, I went away for 2 weeks and look at what happened. Whoa, okay. So there's so many things that I could talk about, but today I want to talk about what's going on and what I think a lot of Canadians are talking about, the protests that are occurring, the blockades that are occurring across Canada related to solidarity with the Wet'suwet'en people. I'm going to assume that if you're watching this, that you know what I'm talking about. And I don't have to explain the whole Wet'suwet'en TransLink liquid gas pipeline thingy to you. I think this is the first real test of our commitment to reconciliation in this country. And what a doozy it is turning out to be. And what we choose to do in this next moment is going to have lasting ramifications for our relationships with our Indigenous cousins. Very interesting situation. I've been reading a lot and catching up, and so many interesting arguments. And I wonder if anyone is actually right in this whole situation. So, on one hand, we've got the Wet'suwet'en people and the elected elders versus the elected chiefs versus the hereditary chiefs. And I was listening to something over the weekend that really made it very clear and the difference. And that is, of course, that the elected chiefs are part of the colonial system that was put in place by the Canadian government to implement the Indian Acts. And we've got the hereditary chiefs, which is a system that has been in place with our Indigenous cousins for tens of thousands of years. It's their system of governance. And you've got the elected chiefs who are saying they support the project, and you've got the hereditary chiefs who are saying they don't. So herein lies a bit of a problem of having two systems of governance in place, and one has to go. And guess which one has to go? It's not the hereditary chiefs. First Nations need to be allowed to govern themselves how they see fit. And the system that was forced on them by my ancestors is not the right one. So bye, girl, bye. I have an interesting position on this because I support everyone and no one all at once. First of all, I am in agreement with the Wet'suwet'en hereditary chiefs that with due respect, the TransLink pipeline doesn't get built. They don't want it. And regardless of what has been said before, regardless of what has been approved, that should not be happening. And the government of British Columbia needs to reroute the pipeline into a territory that is okay with it. And that's the end of the discussion. I do not support the protests, though, because it's really hard to have a thoughtful conversation when you've got a gun to your head. These blockades are costing literally millions of dollars a day with various organizations that can't ship things across the country because we're so reliant on our train system, which is arguably outdated, but let's not go there. And it's not, these are not frivolous things. We're talking about food. We're talking about chemicals to treat our water systems. This is a big deal. And you cannot have a negotiation when you are threatening in that manner. It just doesn't work. I was listening to Metro Morning this morning here in Toronto, and Pia Chattopadhyay said something. She said that Justin Trudeau was originally all about conversation. Now he's saying the blockades have to go. He's changed his tone. And I don't think that's the case at all. I think he is very much open to discussion and dialogue, and that dialogue didn't come. The hereditary chiefs have refused to meet with him, is my understanding. And if that's the case, he got to a point where his back was against the wall and he had to do something. So he has called for the blockades to be removed. That said, I pulled up a photo this morning, again on CBC, and it's of the OPP as they remove the protesters from Tyendinaga this morning. And it totally takes me back to the Oka crisis. And if you're not familiar with the Oka crisis, I'll post a link down before from 1990, which we don't want to go back there. But on Metro Morning, Pia was interviewing a woman, and she really summed it all up for me. That this isn't really about the pipeline. It's about hundreds of years of Indigenous peoples' rights being ridden over for the sake of progress. Whether you like it or not, at some point, colonists came to this land and took it over. And we committed heinous acts in order to do that. We forced Indigenous peoples off their lands. We have no idea what this country would be like had colonists not come to it. So we have to live in that now. We have to live with that history. And we have been making decisions on behalf of Indigenous peoples for 200 years plus. And in order to have true reconciliation, that has to stop. So it's not okay just to go to the elected chiefs and get their approval. You have to get the approval of the people of the nation. So maybe there's a referendum, maybe there's a vote, maybe there's discussion. It's a different way of doing business, but it's the way forward. And governments and corporations that want to move forward with these projects that involve Indigenous people's lands, that's the way you're going to have to do it. Or we're going to continue to have blockades and other crises that threaten the livelihoods of many, many Canadians. Things to think about. That's it for me. Thanks so much for watching. I'm glad that you tune in every Monday to find out what I'm going to blither on about. Please do remember to subscribe to my channel by clicking on the link. Ring the bell so you'll know when I post other stuff. And like the video. It's been a while since you liked a video. It's like 2 weeks. How about clicking the thumbs up? Thumb it up. Or if you're on Facebook, a little heart. I think that's a heart. I never get that one. Remember to connect with me on all of my social media platforms. I am at DiversityDudeMB. And listen to my podcast. Talking to Canadians. It is available wherever you get your podcasts, or visit TalkingToCanadians.ca and you can download the links there. Have a fantastic week. And I think that's it. I think I covered everything. Who knows? I will see you next week for another episode of Monday Morning Musings.